Hey everyone, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back with another video. I'm just gonna give a little quick update. I'm sorry for, the little delay, especially on this game recap review. The reason why I did not make this, game recap review mostly after the game because one, the game when it ended, it was pretty late. It was like going on 11:30 my time, and I was not gonna stay up to probably make like a 20-minute to 25-minute video and not gain the sleep that I needed. And then two, school works this week for me has literally kicked me in the butt. So I have so much work from school. Like I legit have to get started on at least a 5 to 7 page paper. Really today that's due Friday. So other than that, that's why uploads have been slow. But I might be uploading 2 videos today. You might, depending on how I feel, this video along with one of my other One Piece Saga review videos will be going up maybe later today slash tonight. I don't know how that. I don't know. I'll see. But other than that, you know, just a quick update. Sorry for the hiatus, especially on the Bears stuff, because for Bears fans, they want to see opinions around from other favorite Bears, other Bears fans and stuff like that. So, anyways, I'm going to talk about the game recap. So, our Chicago Bears beat the Washington Redskins 31-15. Even though technically we should have beat them by more, whatever. You'll take the score for what it is. A win's a win at the end of the day. I know I think the day yesterday I got unnecessary freaking crap from people saying, "Oh, you guys should have won by more." Yeah, we should have won by more, but at the end of the day, we won, didn't we? And we still dominated the freaking Redskins, really for 3 quarters, I guess, and a half. But I had people come up to me like, "Oh, you guys," I'm like you beat a team that you should have scored by more. I'm like you guys. I don't understand what the unnecessary hate with the Chicago Bears is. Maybe that's just me because I like to talk a lot about my Bears and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't see where the unnecessary hate comes from. Personally, I just think it's just haters trying to say that the team's not good, but they're a pretty talented team. But regardless of the fact, I don't want to get into that. Maybe I'll make a video why, you know, certain people like to just pick on your team. Maybe they do it for the fun of it. But anyways, our Chicago Bears won 31-15 against the Washington Redskins, and they move up from 1-1 to 2-1 now. And it was good. This was, I say, a key win with the NFC North division rivals, winning their games last week. This was a key imperative game where we had to win, because if we had lost this game, um, we would have some trouble trying to get at least maybe second place in the division. Now, you know, hopefully things work out better this week for the division where, all the rest of the teams win, which means next week we get the Vikings, so we would have to beat the Vikings to get better gainage back into the NFC North. And definitely if the Packers lose, we'll be again tied for first. We'll be back and being tied for first place in the NFC North. The only problem is the Packers will have hold the tiebreaker, even if we do beat them later in Lambeau, but they hold the tiebreaker because we didn't want to beat them week one. Um, but anyways, I'm gonna talk about this game, talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and I guess a little bit of concern areas that I could say. So you know, before the game started, the whole thing was mostly talking about the offense and how the offense was going to do, how Trubisky was going to play. And Trubisky, as I get into the offense, Trubisky played, I would say, a good game. I wouldn't say pretty good or a great game. I would say he played good. It was a good performance. He put on much better than week 1 and 2 combined, much better. And hopefully he can keep this up going into week 4 against the Minnesota Vikings, which is another talented defense. Hopefully he can, keep up his consistency and do good. He had, he completed 25 of his passes on 31 attempts, and he passed for 300 or not 300 231 yards. He had threw three TDs and an interception. Um, you know, this is the game where Trubisky needed to get on the start to where he needs to have a consistent year. So so far he's at a D, at a just straight up D level for me. You know, Washington was a bad defense, and we went up against pretty. Now looking at the Packers defense, it's a pretty good defense. But now going into week 4, I would like to see that consistency, and see if he can not only you know still improve as and develop better, but um, put on basically a more better performance, game than he typically does. And when I mean better performance, like a really good performance by him against a good team. Redskins, they're not gonna do anything really. Jesus. And I remember talking about my preview. I said they were a freaking decent team at the best. We played on Monday night. We kind of schooled them for like I said, literally the entire game much. But I thought Trubisky played fine enough to win the game. The one thing I did not like is, you know, I did not like that, red zone interception he threw to Josh Norman where he just underthrew the ball. That's just a bad ball thrown. Put some height on that. Another thing, he was fairly inaccurate at some key moments. Like he overshot um Anthony Miller when he was literally wide open and on like a fade route or something. And it's like the same things that take me off. He's inaccurate and stuff like that. He needs to, really work on the accuracy of his balls being thrown. You can't miss, wide open dudes and overshoot them and stuff like that. Because, that could be a game changer. That just helps out the defense if you're gonna overshoot them. As long as you put it in there, I don't know. It's like, play catch with these receivers. It's simple. Just throw the ball. It's like dude throws with I feel like you put too much power into his throws when he's throwing the face. But, I digress. Going back to the interception was god awful. It was terrible. From the standpoint of not only Trubisky but Nagy's play calling. It was second down and 1 in the red zone area. I don't know why Nagy just didn't run the ball with David Montgomery. I don't know why he elect to pass, and I don't know why he called to do like basically a back shoulder or basically a fade, a end zone fade for a touchdown when your quarterback just overthrew it. When it's just second down and 1, and you should just ran the ball. It's red zone territory. Run the ball, and we did run the ball throughout the game, but not as like committal as we did say last week. You know, Again, I go back to the same reason. Um, you know, Nagy has some infatuation with Trubisky throwing the ball. Um, I personally say it's because he wants to make the critics, eat their words for what Trubisky's saying and stuff like that, instead of just, going with the run and having a balanced run, as well as a, um, you know, balanced passing game and stuff like that. I don't know why Nagy's so infatuated with the pass, but it could be interpreted two ways. Like I said, he wants Trubisky to throw so much so he can prove the critics wrong, but at the same time, he doesn't want to run the football and, lower his ego down and not run the football. Um, you know, Stuff like that. Things that I did like Trubisky is when he was moving around and even moving and throwing at the same time, more than likely good things tended to happen instead of him, getting into it like a, you know, drop back position and freaking just having like, a 5 minute or 5 second drop to look for a receiver open. He It worked better when he was on the move or it was like really a 3 stop drop and then it's a throw. It's what I said. Like the first drive, we didn't score, but the first drive was basically not only a hurry up offense, but the first drive was getting Trubisky in rhythm, and that was throwing quick passes, slants, hitches. curls. It's like that's how you should start Trubisky off. As a quarterback like Trubisky needs to be started off like that. He needs to get into a rhythm. You can start him off with 3-step drops, quick passes. He'll get in that rhythm. He'll start feeling more confident. And when he started to move the ball and throw it on the run, the one thing I saw is he had that confidence, and that's what I was missing to see in week 1 and week 2. I think Trubisky can be a pretty good quarterback if he has the confidence. He can't be. He does. He's not a good quarterback when I look at his face. Mostly, sometimes the camera shows it before they snap the ball, and he looks. He has the look of fear or intimidation or something like that. Um, or he has a look of no confidence in himself. That's the one thing you need to have in football. If you have no confidence in yourself, you're not going to win games, especially the quarterback. If you're a quarterback and you have no confidence in yourself, you're not even going to complete a pass down the field, if not almost a 2-yard pass. Um, you know, I think that's what Nagy needs to do for basically the rest of the season. Get him started on quick throws, you know, slants, hitches, these quick step routes. Get him started, and then you can open up the playbook. Where he can throw down the field, get up, throw on the run and stuff like that. I just feel like he's not only more confident throwing on the run, but if he gets started to a good pace, his confidence meter picks up. And when his confidence picks up, I think good things can happen. That's just my opinion from what I saw, and I saw that, as the game progressed, he had good confidence in him. He had confidence in himself. Just look at the TD pass to not Allen Robinson, to Taylor Gabriel that looked like it was incomplete. My goodness, beautifully thrown ball, beautifully thrown catch by Taylor Gabriel. When I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, he's got confidence in himself now. He has confidence in himself. He's feeling it right now. And I know it's against a bad defense, but even against a bad defense, if you're feeling that confident in yourself, nobody really can stop what you're doing on offense if you have that confidence in yourself. I liked what the offense did. For the most part, it was morely on the passing game, but if the running game came along, I would still like to see more running. But at the same time, I guess you could say the O-line blocking needs to be better, especially when it comes to the run blocking. Because my goodness, our O-line, when it comes to run blocking, it is freaking terrible. Um, you know, I'm happy to see that Montgomery is able to get out of predicaments because my goodness, the O-line needs to block better on the run so then Montgomery can be breaking for 10 to almost 15 yards of one's measly rush. You know, it's amazing with all the stuff Montgomery can do. He's able to get out of tackles that literally, are at the line of scrimmage and stuff like that. O-line blocking needs to do a little bit better. I expected more out of this O-line, but we ain't gonna run the ball pretty well or even get passes off if the O-line can't, hold their blocks and maintain them. As for receiving, it was somewhat distributed. Gabriel, he was basically the star of the receiver core of this group because he mostly scored everything. Now, the sad thing is, Taylor Gabriel won't more than likely be available for probably a couple of weeks because he came down with a concussion. But other than that, it was good to see. The offense, I liked what I saw from the offense. Oh, actually, one thing I did not like from the offense is one of the things I said in my preview, and even my last game recap, I said I did not want to see Mike Davis in the game as a running back. He got at least one freaking carry in this game as a running back, and I'm like, can we just take him out of the offense? He doesn't serve anything. Put him as a special teams guy for crying out loud. Like, my goodness. Nothing against Mike Davis, but like I said, he's basically Tyquan Mazzell from last year, where you just get sick of watching him and you just want him off the field. Like, he's fine. Like, Mike Davis, I'd say, is a little bit better on the special teams as a use and stuff like that. But again, I'm still waiting to see where Montgomery gets a majority of the carries. I hate where, Montgomery gets a carry, then he gets taken out for another running back. Again, Nagy, keep him in the game. Stop taking him out. You drafted him for a reason, and that's to be your every down back, unless he comes down with an injury or he's tired. So give this kid more reps, and stop freaking cuffing him. I can say, you know, but overall, to end this offensive discussion, the offense can definitely play a lot better. The offense in the second half did get conservative, and I will talk about that as well as the defense. And what I mean by conservative is we have the fight, and especially going from last year. You always knew if we were up big time in a game from last year, more than likely we either got a field goal or one touchdown, if at best one touchdown in the second half, if we were leading after the first half. Because for some reason, we think the lead is okay for now. Um, the offense got really conservative and really bland, and like I said, to really put away the game, we just had to score one more touchdown, and that's just the common trophy from last year, where the offense just needs to score one more touchdown to put the game away. They had a chance in the red zone to do it, but Trubisky threw that pick. Instead of running the ball like a smart person, we elected the pass in the red zone, and guess what? We got picked off. And that would have ended the game, and we wouldn't need to have worried about what was going on, late game with what the Redskins were trying to do. Now I'll get to the defense on that part when they were getting conservative as well. The one thing about the Bears is this, and this goes for both sides. And the one thing I need to see more is them being more aggressive in the second half if they have a lead. Please, on the offensive side, don't let up. Freaking don't feel sorry for these teams because you kicked their butts for literally a half. Go put more pressure on them. Put away the game. Slit them by the throat. Step on them. Make it known that your dominance is there. Don't get conservative and all soft play calling and stuff like that. Go out there, put more points on the board. I don't care. It's NFL. They're not gonna freaking complain about you running up the score. Otherwise, you'll be in predicaments where where you have to put your defense when a team's driving down on you because not only you're playing conservative, but the defense is playing conservative. I'll get to the defense, now. First half, I loved what I was seeing from the defense. The defense was the dominant Bears defense we saw. Khalil Mack, my goodness, that dude had himself a night. Clinton Dix had himself a night. I'm thinking back on it now. I think I got three, Bears that are MVPs of this game. Khalil Mack having the freaking 2 forced fumbles and then 2 sacks on top of it. Clinton Dix, his 2 interceptions and 1 return for a touchdown against his former team in the Redskins. Great stuff I saw from the defense in the first half. It's the Bears defense that just gets up in your face, and it's like once they get pressure on you, more than likely you can't stop it. You can nullify it, but you can't stop it. And I liked what I saw from the first half. Everybody on defense brought their A game in the first half. In the second half, the defense got conservative, and it was the same thing from last year, where the defense feels like it's kind of comfortable enough lead where they feel they can let off the gas a bit, and stuff like this. And when the Redskins were looking to make a comeback, one of my main problems was that the DBs were backed up in like a cover, like a zone coverage, like a cover 4 or a deep zone coverage. And I'm especially looking at like Kyle Fuller, more than likely, he is backing up literally 15 yards off this line of scrimmage. And I'm like, dude, why are you backing up so deep? And all they're doing, and all the Redskins on their little mini try to come from behind, drives, is they were just throwing short passes, and these short passes were working because our freaking DBs are backed up like 15 yards, almost 20 off the ball. There was one part of the game, Kyle Fuller was still slightly backing up, and and he was almost getting on the picture on my TV screen. I'm like, dude, get on your guy. And from the aspect, that's when I got frustrated, because when the Redskins were moving the ball down the field, and it got scary to the point where they can actually make this game closer than what it should have been. Um, if it wasn't for that Danny Trevathan fumble to knock the ball out of Case Keenum's hands for doing a stupid dive over the pile, things might have been closer than what they should have, and we could have blown that game pretty easily. And most of the reason is, for some reason, the defense got conservative and let up. There was one part where the entire defensive line was literally just our second string guys. I'm like, and it was the third quarter. I'm like, the game's not even a third of the way over, and you guys are putting in your second stringers. Put in Mac and the boys back in the game and tell them to suit up and come play. I'm not wasting this time. It goes back to the offense. The defense needs to do the same thing. Keep that same defensive freaking, step on their throat type of, defense. Where it's like, we're not going to let you score anymore. But, the Redskins got a score here, and they were feeling themselves for a bit, especially on the drive, where it looked like they were going to get a touchdown, if not for the fumble. But another thing is, I hated how the defense got so damn conservative. And, especially for the secondary, they played like deep man zone. Prince and Fuller were backing out almost 20 yards off the ball. I'm like, if you're going to back up that far, you're just asking the freaking play calls to be slants, hitches, simple stuff. And it's like, I keep hearing the situation this. Oh, the Bears only play that type of deep man coverage because they don't want to get beat deep on a fade route. Ninja, what? You have a defensive line that can probably get to the quarterback in that case for that period amount of time. Quarterbacks with our defensive line, and even if you send a blitz with a linebacker, a quarterback won't have that time to throw a long, deep fade route. I'd rather say this, get beat than frickin', have these measly little frickin' dink and dunk passes be completed, because the dink and dunk passes, to me, I feel like they get more yardage off those dink and dunk passes than they would get off a fade. Like, I feel like they gain more yardage of, catching just a 3-yard slant. And they get not only the first down, but something like that. Like going back to Kyle Fuller, because he's off the ball so much. Receivers are running 3-yard slants, and the dude's nowhere around the guy. He's like trailing behind them, and the receiver can get the first down. I'm like, stop with this. So what I would like to see next week is, can we keep the aggressiveness? Can we keep the aggressiveness? If you're being freaking intimidated from that, oh, we don't want to get beat by the the streak, the fade route. We don't want to get beat deep. What else? I'd rather play it safe. I don't want to, be aggressive, so say no one gets hurt or something. F that. You need to be aggressive at all the time, because there was a part of the game where the Redskins actually looked like they were making it a close game, and it actually started to make me sweat a bit, and stuff like that. And this is what I'm talking about. It's the same thing like last year. It's always a tale of two halves. One half, the offense and the defense could be literally kicking teams' butts. The other half, they'll get conservative and not do nothing and make it a closer game than what it should be. I just hate how when I watch other teams, they keep the aggressiveness, they keep the pressure up, they don't back down. But with us, we play like at least a good half of football. I'm like, look, maybe I don't know if Nagy has not yet to get it through his thick skull. Look, you don't win football games in 30 minutes. You win football games in 60. I'd like you to keep the aggressiveness on the team's throats, and especially going to next week. Keep the aggressiveness. If we're up big time against the Minnesota Vikings next week, don't give up on them. Don't let up. I don't want to see deep man zones and stuff like that because you're afraid of getting beat deep. Who cares if you get beat deep? If you get beat deep, that's whatever. More than Jesus, you can get beat deep. Just freaking tug on a receiver and just get called for a pass interference. I'd rather you get called for a pass interference than, have dink and dunk passes going for almost 10 yards because, you want to play, cover 4, deep man zone, or whatever defense you want to put in. If at best, Jesus, or, like I said, like, lock up the freaking receivers and stuff like that. I still get irked when our DBs back up. I still say to this day, It don't. Our front seven is good. Linebacker core is good. D line is good. It's the frickin' DBs of our team that suck the most, and mostly that's because we don't have that type of lockdown corner. If I didn't, I know if we didn't have to give up so much, I would go trade for Jalen Ramsey. But one, we already traded for Khalil Mack, and we gave up a lot to get him. The Jaguars were probably going to ask a lot for Jalen Ramsey, and I don't think I would pull the trigger on that. And more importantly, he'd probably more than likely be a 1-year rental because I don't think we would have the money to sign him. And stuff like that. But other than that, the defense played, I'll say the same thing, good. The second half, it turned me down a peg because I'm like, they were playing great, but when the defense was literally making it a closer game than what it should have been, it took it back. And I'm like, they played good. They had a great first half, a good second half. Nothing else. But that's it. As for special teams, they did what they had to do. I can't say much about special teams. You know, that's all I have to say. I can't really say much about special teams. The only thing I can say is Eddie Pinero, please get better. I don't know how the hell you're hurting yourself weightlifting. The only way you can hurt yourself weightlifting is doing some dumb stuff. But okay, I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. And then I guess next up, your Bears MVPs. Usually I have one, but I'm gonna have three, and that's Taylor Gabriel, Khalil Mack, and Hala Clinton Dix. They all played really good games. You know, that's all. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say, and stuff like that. So next week we have the Minnesota Vikings, the divisional rival. So hopefully this week we can beat a divisional rival and go up and be in the NFC North 3-1 instead of going 2-2. The Vikings, for the most part, they've had an okay season. You know, I'll get into the keys of what to do that game when I make my game preview for that. But other than that, we gotta win. We gotta get another one next week because the next slate of games is pretty favorable in my opinion. I think the next slate of games we have is pretty favorable because this week we got the Vikings. I say that's a winnable game because in my opinion, I don't fear the Vikings even when they have that good defense and even when they have Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, Kirk Cousins. Not worried about Kirk Cousins. Next week we play the Raiders in London. Then we play the Saints. Then the Chargers, and those are all winnable games. It just comes down to what really Trubisky can do in the offense, and if he can put points up. I like to see more points being put up. This week against the Vikings and stuff like that. Now, again, it's gonna be another tough defense for him to deal with, but I have full confidence. Trubisky and his history against the Vikings is pretty is I would say good. He does pretty fairly good against even that tough Vikings defense. He challenged the Vikings defense in his first career start on Monday Night Football, in his rookie season. It wasn't until he threw a stupid interception, where they got the better of him. But, feel like I said, I'm not as afraid of the Vikings as you say I'm afraid of the Packers, mostly for Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings, okay, you can be a little, concerned about the Vikings, but the Vikings, let's be real. They're a good team, but, I don't fear them as well. I personally feel like we really beat the Vikings more than not and stuff like that. But other than that, that is the game recap for, your Bears versus the Washington Redskins and stuff like that. So, next video about the Bears will be week 4, preview of Bears and Vikings. So, other than that, we got the dub. Hopefully we get a dub next week. But other than that, till then, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you have a comment to talk about what you saw that you liked, leave that in the comment section. Also, if you want more Chicago Bears content, hit that subscribe button. But till then, this is Camfrey15, and I'm signing out. So for all you Bear fans, bear down.